Hi there, I'm Tony T, and this is your Nerd of Godcast Season 3 premiere. And this is your episode overture, which is kind of like an overworld map for episode 41. Do you ever have heated arguments over whether Wonder Woman or Lois Lane are a better match for Superman? Or did you go on the quest to allow your character in Skyrim to get married? Have you ever performed a wedding ceremony for your Pokemon plush toys? If you answered yes to any of these, your romantic side might be in overdrive. And that's okay with us because this week we're talking about love and marriage, from the standpoint of our top nerdy class couples to some of our ever-loving favorites from Sunday school. We've got a fun celebrity couple name game, plus the reveal of our Season 3 Best Thing Ever. And to top it all off, find out how, with the touch of a button, you can win a Nerd of Godcast prize pack. Also, our conversation is far from complete, so if you've got something we missed, be sure to let us know about it online at Nerd of Godcast across all the usual social media platforms. So, snuggle up next to the one you love. It's time to get your Godcast on. Hey there, guys and gals, geeks and gamers. You're tuned in to the Nerd of Godcast, that place on the Venn diagram of life where Christ culture and nerd culture find sweet, sweet two-player co-op. You gotta get that yawning out of the way. It's not midnight now. No excuses.
I'm still without caffeine today, so.
And you've been dealing with a bunch of 3-year-olds?
Yes.
So praise God. Well, welcome back to the Nerd of Godcast. It's Season 3, y'all. Ooh. Yeah, well, I didn't know what sound effect you were going to make as a whole, but I guess ooh. Who'd have thought they'd all still be here? And we're back, so we're excited. We took a little bit of a breaky poo for the past couple months, doing some planning and preparation and just relaxation, and we are back. I'm super excited. That is my word for how I feel right now to be back recording with you guys, because we have been doing a lot. We like, there's been some aggressive expansion happening in Nerd of Godcast land, and what you're listening to right now, this podcast is only this small part of it. So we're going to share a little bit more about that for the rest of the episode. My name is Tony T. I'm going to be your happy host for the next few minutes as we talk about Christ culture and nerd culture and where they cross over and slap each other high five on the playing field that is our combined universe of existence. With me, as always, is Steve-O Supremo.
Ba weep, grana weep, ninny bon, everybody. Season 3 ain't nothing changing for me. Except...
That rhymed until you kept talking.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
sometimes I just start a
tells me-
sentence and I don't know where it's going to end
The
up.
Lord tells me I have to love you. But the non-frosted mini wheat side of me
You
says,
still love me, Tony.
You are the worst. Just steer into it, man. Just everybody knows, Steve-O, that you're the worst.
If I wasn't steering into it, I would have stopped saying ba weep, grana weep, nitty bon in episode 3.
Okay. All right. It's, you know what? The only reason I can't be really mad at you is because it's from me. You learned it from me.
Yes, I learned it by watching you, okay? This is your fault. Everything is your fault now.
That's nothing new there. Moving across the gilded table here is the big man, Quentin Gregory Neff. Trace, awesome. It is Taco Tuesday.
Trace leches.
Ooh.
This is a new thing for us. We're recording on a Tuesday.
Yes.
In the
Yeah.
early evening.
Yes.
The
feels
sun
good.
is still up.
It feels
I
good.
don't think it's up anymore.
It's up-ish.
Up-ish. In a couple months, it will not be up at this time.
Well,
we'll take what we
recording
got
in the
now.
dark
We're
again.
going to move to Alaska, so it'll stay up all the time.
We'll just have insomnia.
Nerd of Godcast North coming soon. Neff, what's going on with you, buddy?
Not much.
What have you been up to since we've been on break?
Reading lots of comics.
Yeah, lots of comics.
Lots of Rebirth.
Well, lots of. So exclusively DC stuff?
Pretty much. I'm gonna buy Marvel Comics soon.
Neff's also been saying that for like 4 years, though.
You know what you can do, and I don't know if
Eventually.
you have like a Netflix subscription or whatever. They're not promoting us or sponsoring us, but check into that Marvel Unlimited where you can get, it's like $10 a month, and you have like their whole back catalog. There's a lot of good reads on there. Even if you just keep it for a month or two, just dig through some of those storylines. I want to get it because I want to go back and read a little bit of some of the cosmic Marvel Universe things, like a Annihilation storyline and some of the different things like that. And get a little bit more familiar with that because there's been some things that have caught my attention in the recent movie, The Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, that I'd like to read a little bit more about. But we'll talk perhaps about that a little bit later. Anything else going on with you?
Nope.
Fantastic. Sliding around, we have the newest member of our regular cast of characters. You know him, you love him. He's been by here often enough that he's got his own sock drawer. But this is EJ, the official Ness. What's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, official Ness.
Now that he's a member, he started doing the promotion.
That's
again.
right.
He did the first time he was on it like 3 times. Like, hey guys, what's going on?
I have to say that though. That's just what I say in
That's
like
his
my
brand.
videos, and that's my brand. You know?
So official Ness, just catch everybody up. We have to assume that every episode is somebody's first episode.
Yes.
What is Ness?
Ness is stands for No Eye Has Seen. It is based off of 1 Corinthians 2:9. For no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those that love Him.
Right on,
Yeah.
right on. And Ness EJ is an artist. You can check his stuff out online at
Officialness.com.
Everything's official now.
Everything's official Ness.
Yep. So check him out. He's really, really talented and really, really good. Speaking of art, beauty, grace, dignity, class.
Jackie's not here.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were describing Nick.
Well, then Jessica. Here she is, magnificent, resplendent in glory.
Hi.
Jessica Terror.
Here she is. Miss Amanda.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
What's new? What's happening?
Not much. I've been playing lots of Minecraft.
Really?
Nick created a monster. Thanks.
You're welcome.
You can create monsters in Minecraft?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
In creative mode.
So you've been Minecraft. What's the appeal? I don't see it.
I can lay in bed with my phone hooked up on charger and just build things
Fantastic.
and farm and all that stuff. So
you set the bar pretty low there.
Mhm.
So you've gone from World of Warcraft to Minecraft.
Yes, it's a lot cheaper.
And
not nearly as time consuming.
So is the craft that really is the key thing?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll drop you off at like a Linens and things or a Michaels or something like
There
that.
we
Just-
go.
She's just all
You
about
I
the
can spend
crafts.
hours in a craft store.
All about the crafts.
Or NASA.
NASA?
Spacecraft.
Yeah.
Or with some Velveeta.
Crap.
Macaroni.
I am also here to report that the red controller does work.
It does?
Hey!
Yes. I finally hooked up my PS3 back up again and played Tomb Raider.
Please,
Oh, you're welcome.
see season 2, episode 39, I think, for the red controller story.
I don't think that's accurate.
I think it's episode.
It's
Just
somewhere
listen
in
to
there.
all of season 2. And then
Yeah,
you'll
just
hear
listen
it.
to
Yeah,
all
but
seasons.
How
two.
much is listen to everything?
the
And then come back to
handoff
us.
from listen. It's like when in comic books when somebody says something they're like, just like that time you killed my dog, and,
And
the
there's an
little bubble
asterisk,
pops
yes.
up, and it's like see
issue.
issue 12,
Yes.
Stammering Stan or whatever. And
They don't do that
Stan.
anymore. They did it a while. Like I haven't read many recent comics that do that. It's mostly like 80s and 90s.
I've
Well,
never actually seen
Before the
Stammer and
internet.
Stammer.
now they have so many reboots
What?
and retcons and new launches of universes. There's no real way to draw lines through it. So it's like Peter Parker did this thing. Well, when he was Ultimate Spider-Man, or when he was Ben Reilly Spider-Man,
No,
or
when he
was
floated away as
Peter
as
Porker, the
Superior.
Spectacular Spider-Ham.
Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does.
His name's not Spider Pig anymore. It's
Harry
Harry Plopper. And in the producer booth, we have Perry's own Nicholas Sadler.
Hello.
What's going on, Sad
It's
Boy?
open for hey, howdy, hey. You get spoiled me in episode 40.
Sorry.
Okay, you guys stop making references to old episodes. We're moving forward, okay? New day.
Yes, it is.
The windshield is bigger than the rear view. Think about new things. Anything new with you?
Bit of No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky, they put some updates in the video game, the PlayStation game No Man's Sky. How are the updates? I still haven't tried them out yet.
They're good. The graphics are a little better, and there's a lot of new things that you can do.
Mostly like crafting based things.
Yes,
right?
it's crafting based.
You guys.
I have to say,
So easy to please.
there's been very few games that have disappointed me as much as No Man's Sky did.
For real?
I
That
was
means you don't
heavily
play enough games.
I was, well, maybe. Or I was just really disappointed with No Man's Sky. I was so hyped for it. So let down by
I
the
think
game.
that's a game that you have to temper your hype a little bit for, and you just have to know it is what it is. You're exploring a giant universe.
Yes, but they just, I don't know, maybe it's the way that they marketed it and the way that the creator said that it was going to be how amazing it was, I believed him, and he let me down.
What was not amazing based on the way that they marketed it, Steven?
I don't know. It just made it seem like it was going to be all about like adventure and excitement and exploration. But it's all
Adventure and
about
excitement? A Jedi craves not these things.
But it was all about crafting. I didn't want Minecraft in space.
It wasn't about crafting. It was about surviving. I mean, you have to go around and gather resources, sure. But if you're in space and you're trying to make the leap to the next planet, you got to have fuel, man. You got to have the things.
I understand that. It was so disappointing.
Planet after planet, system after system, each time hoping the next leap would be the leap home. Don't step on my jokes.
I was
kill
you were making
I'm gonna kill you.
You're making a Quantum Leap reference. I was trying to make a Fallout reference where they for Nuka-Cola said have a leap or take a leap and make it a quantum, and it's for their quantum Nuka-Cola.
I was hoping somebody would make a Superman 2 reference where you lose fuel and then you're just spinning around like Zod in a little hexagon or whatever it was.
This will be our last episode. We're gonna go ahead.
We're
and
spiraling out of
pull
control.
the plug on us. Tell us where this show went wrong. Connect with us on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, on the Instagram at Nerd of Godcast. You can check out our blog online at www.nerdofgodcast.com, or you can email us at nerdofgodcast@gmail.com. Plus, one of the new things that we've really been kicking around since last time we were here, we've always had a YouTube page, but in the past few months, we've really started using it. So we've been really, really excited about some of the videos that we put out. So you need to check us out. Go over to YouTube and search for Nerd of Godcast. You'll find us. We got a whole collection of videos, all different kinds that we're putting out there. We've got Spoiler Freeze. Tell us what Spoiler Freeze are.
Spoiler free is when we review a movie or game, but we don't give any of the plot points or any kind of spoilers for it. We just kind of give you our take of it, what we like and what we don't like, without really giving any of the plot or any of the story
So
away.
it's pretty much exactly what it sounds
Yes.
like it would be. We've got Review Plus 2, which EJ, you got to be on one of those. Review Plus 2, where Steve-O looks at a movie or a movie trailer and basically reviews it with two friends. They could be somebody that's on the show or somebody that we just kind of know, or random person on the street that we just pull in. It's Steve-O and two other friends reviewing this, that, and the other. The last one we did was the trailer for The Last Jedi.
I believe so.
So really, really exciting. We got one that's going to be out by the time you guys hear this. You should check it out. It's called High Fives, where we basically come up with a top 5 list of any given topic, and we go down. These are our favorite 5 of these things. So if there's breakfast cereal, of course, it would be Grape Nuts, Count Chocula, Raisin Bran, Captain Crunch.
Raisin Nut
Crisp.
Lucky Charms
Crisp.
is number 1.
Reese's
Waffle
Puffs.
Crisp. Waffle Crisp
Lucky
is the
Charms.
best cereal ever
Lucky
made.
Charms?
Ever.
I love Lucky Charms.
You can't have
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Marshmallow
you can't
Makeys.
eat a cereal
You
that
and my
once
niece
the
would get along
marshmallows are
very
gone
well.
becomes worthless.
The
Lucky
marshmallows
Charms is
and
all
Lucky
about
Charms
balance.
are terrible.
What is wrong with you?
They're terrible. They taste like chalk.
Like what?
Like chalk.
We're not having
What?
this.
Excuse me?
We're not having this conversation.
They're terrible.
It's not a shack.
I'm not even going to entertain it.
Serious?
You guys know now when I say Steven's the worst, I'm not even exaggerating.
Marshmallows and cereal are
I'm
nasty.
throttling it
What?
back.
I'm
What is
done.
wrong with
They're
you?
I'm
dried
done.
marshmallows.
Were you never a child?
No.
I was
I'm
a
done.
child. I loved Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries
Guys, don't
and Waffle
entertain
Crisp
this.
and Cookie Crisp
Don't
and
entertain
Fruity Pebbles and Fruit Loops.
So all the stuff that would
cardboard
scrape your
and
mouth.
pencil shavings and
Very small rocks.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of stuff. Jackie and I are going to do a series of videos called Second Impressions, where we go back and look at some old classic video games. Like, we're going to bust out some PS1 games that she's never seen before, and we're going to do some playthroughs of them where I kind of talk about the historical importance of them, and she gives this is my first impression of them ever view at it. So it's kind of two contrasting things. Like, this is why this game was important in '97, and she'll say, this is why this game sucks now, or whatever it might be.
Can you please have her play the annoying stick? What was that game?
The irritating
stick.
Steven, you're the only irritating stick we need. Yeah. And so we got a lot of stuff. So definitely follow us on all of our social media things. Like, subscribe, follow, share. Super, super important. Plus, we had a little bit of a contest that was going on. We're going to be extending that a little bit. If you go over to iTunes, where our podcast is hosted, some of you are even listening this from iTunes, so it will just be a hop, skip, and a jump. If you will give us a rating and a review, we love stars, especially when they come in 5s. iTunes and write a little review for us. If you do that before our next episode is recorded, we're going to choose one of the people that has done that. We're going to give you a little prize package, some Nerd of God stash, including a Nerd of Godcast t-shirt and some other cool little neat things. So please head on over to iTunes and do that. Do all the social media things. They really, really do help us out. And you can also check us out on Patreon. That's how we pay the bills. So visit patreon.com. You can be one of our patrons of the arts, and you can help sponsor all the things that we do. So I think we have all the business out of the way. Everybody feeling good about it?
Oh yeah.
Well, what's up? So we're going to church. We got invited by a pastor friend of ours to be part of an event called the Night of the Guardians. Ooh. And I'll be speaking, ministering the gospel, and then afterwards they're going to have an afterglow featuring little old us. So we're going to be doing some really, really cool things. This is kind of our first time really doing this in a way that we kind of know maybe what we're going to be doing. So it'll be cool. Steven and Nick are going to have some interactive science experiments.
Science time.
Yay.
Steven and Nick.
Yeah, that's the right response. It's like they're sort of our Bunsen and Beaker, kind of what they are. Neff is going to do some interactive stuff. He's going to do some games. I want you to do Extra Life too, man. I think that's all. That's
I'll
one
do
of my
Extra
favorites.
Life.
Extra life.
So we'll have a lot of fun. We'll play some interactive games, and we'll just do some really neat things. They're a great group of kids over there at Epic Student Ministries. So we're looking forward to hanging out with them. And one of the cool things, we're going to be debuting some new Nerd of God stash gear while we're there, and it's really, really fun. It's exciting for me. We're gonna have a brand new t-shirt. Have you guys seen the new t-shirt?
Nope.
Can I show it to you now?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
It's the same shirt. It's just pink and black this time.
That is it. It's the same shirt.
We're just changing color. We're gonna have, by the time we're done, we're just gonna have a cacophony of rainbow colored shirts.
Now don't have to describe it because it's gonna be very difficult to describe, but just so you guys can see it, let people hear your reactions to it. But this will be our new Nerd of Godcast shirt.
Super
Nice.
dope. I'm gonna need about 4.
Donald Trump's face. What a weird concept.
I don't know what shirt you're looking at. But that's gonna be our new shirt.
Oh, you're looking at it upside down, Neff.
Oh, it's Obama.
What's the direction of comedy that you're going with there, man?
Political and downward.
I don't understand. So we're going to have that. We're going to try to have some other cool things that we've been making. In fact, we were working late to make some new Nerd of Godcast stickers. Yeah. Now, not only do we have stickers as we've had before with our different branding on it, so we got stickers that say Nerd of God Squad and whatnot. We also have some other interesting ones that are not necessarily Nerd of Godcast branded things. These are all going to be, by the time you hear this, these are all going to be up on our website available for sale. So you can pick them up actually pretty inexpensively. Some really, really cool things. We're going to be rolling out some new t-shirts also over the next few months as well that are not just Nerd of Godcast branded shirts, logo shirts, but just that are cool things that you can use to share with your friends, not only your nerddom, but also your faith in God. So one of our stickers, I did bring it in today, and I want to give it as a gift. This is our official Nerd of Godcast Neff News.
Oh! It's so good.
Somebody's ears are bleeding now.
No, I was going to snap you last night, Neff. I was so excited for this sticker.
I think
Tony was like, absolutely not. But I was going to snap you.
So we will have...
Can you turn it this way so I can take a
We
look?
will have Neff News stickers available on our website.
It's Fox News and it says fairly unbalanced. It's exactly. Oh.
So that is yours. You can stick that wherever you feel appropriate.
Do I get to keep it?
It's yours.
It's yours.
That one's yours, man. Thank you.
I'm so excited
Thank you for bringing us the news.
Put
man.
it on your mom's car. Your mom's name is also Neff.
One of the new things that we are kind of sad to see go, but excited to see move forward is we will no longer be having Neff News as a regular feature on our podcast, simply because by the time we got the podcast edited and aired, it was usually not news anymore. It was usually kind of old news. So we are going to be pushing Neff on up to the YouTube dimension.
Moving on up.
Which is good because Neff pointed out, he's like, yeah, ever since we started Neff News, I've been doing font jokes that no one's ever seen. So now you'll be able to see the fonts. So Neff News will be a
in
visual,
3 dimensions.
a visual experience.
We don't have that kind of budget now.
In 2 dimensions.
We barely have that kind of budget now.
In 1.5 dimensions.
Just close your eyes and
Yes.
imagine. So Neff News, you will be seeing Neff News. So again, if you want all the latest up-to-date stuff, please subscribe to us on YouTube because that's where the magic happens. So very good. You guys feeling great tonight?
Yes.
You know what tonight the time is? If you check your watch, I think that you'll all agree it's time for the best thing ever. Best thing ever is back, guys, for season 3. I'm so pumped.
Woo!
And if you're not 100% familiar with what Best Thing Ever is, well, let me illuminate you. Best Thing Ever is a contest that we start each season. It's a bracket system that we bring up. And the first time that we did Best Thing Ever, you guys remember what we did?
We did Mecha versus Kaiju.
Mecha versus Kaiju. So we had a whole list of all giant robots versus giant monsters. And every single week we put a poll out there on our social media that people could vote on which one they think would be the best, whether it was who would win in a fight or just who was cooler. That's not up to us to decide. That's up to you for the Nerd of God squad to decide. So we put it out there for you guys. Season 2, we came back with non-super powered superheroes.
Yes.
And then we went and even did a little bonus Nerd of Godcast special feature, which was our Disney villain Best Thing Ever. We kind of all we did that all in one night.
I don't think we aired that.
We didn't release that, no.
No, that one wasn't released.
We didn't release that?
No, we were going to do it as a bonus episode. We never put it out there.
Ooh, it's the hidden gem. It's in the vault, you guys. It's exciting.
Patreon supporters.
Patreon. What?
Maybe we'll release that as a Patreon exclusive. That was the night we did our Disney episode. And it went so long and so late that all of our guests
Left.
They left, and they're like, "Well, we gotta go."
It's 2 a.m.
Yeah, so we're just like, okay, well,
we have
just,
kids.
we
Guys,
still
we're
have
only
this thing
halfway
to do.
done.
So that's still out there. I guess that hopefully I can find that original footage. It hasn't been lost, but anyway, so we did that one at least for us. But tonight we're going to be starting a brand new Best Thing Ever, and for season 3, we're going to infinity and beyond with the Best Thing Ever that we're calling Space Ace. So what we're going to do is we've got 16 contestants. They're going to be facing off in a single elimination tournament over the next several weeks, basically throughout this entire season. And every week we're going to give you 2 names. We'll post them on our social media, and you get to pick which of those 2 are better. Again, whether they would win in a fight, whether they're superior in one way or another, whether they're, this one's original, this one's derivative, however you feel it. Use your own qualifications on which one you think is the best. Round 1. Our Space Ace edition of Best Thing Ever, we've got Mal Reynolds from
Serenity and Firefly.
Serenity and Firefly, depending on which order you saw them in.
She made me watch Serenity without telling me there was a show.
And then Lone Star from Spaceballs.
Lone Star, wanna.
So we got Mal Reynolds and Lone Star. Then we have from Alien, Ellen Ripley. Played by the incomparable
Sigourney Weaver.
Versus
I almost said Julianne Moore.
Samus Aran from Metroid.
I'm excited for that week.
Right?
That needs to be like a fan film fight.
What is it?
Femme
Bat in the Sun?
fatales.
Bat in the Sun. Make that happen.
A fan film female fight.
Keep going.
A fan film furious female fatale fight.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous.
For fun. That's it. That's all I got.
Right. Good job.
Fantastic.
Then we go on to the next round, which will be this one. This one to me is where I get stuck hard. Han Solo versus Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
That was the toughest one that I had to do. That was the toughest one.
That's gonna be
That's the second roughest one for me.
Then we've got Peter Star-Lord Quill.
Let's go.
Versus Jason Nesmith as
it was Tim Allen. I can't remember. Captain. I can't remember his name. Captain.
Galaxy Quest.
I know it's Galaxy Quest, and I can't remember the name of the captain. Hold on, I can't remember. I'm not gonna get it. Not in a million guesses. Am I gonna get it? No, it's Commander. He's a Commander. Commander. I don't know. I grab Thaw's hammer. You shall be avenged.
Is there air? You don't know.
No.
That's my favorite line of any movie ever.
Oh darn.
Oh, that's not right.
Oh, I love Guy.
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell was brilliant. That's his best role ever. It's like Guy from Galaxy Quest, and then Justin Hammer are like number 1 and number 2.
Yeah. What? Screw Moon, which is like one of his
Or
best
even,
roles.
the Green Mile.
No,
not the
Guy
one of those.
from Galaxy Quest is his peak. Nothing will ever
I
be
didn't
as
see
good
Galaxy
as that.
Quest, so-
You need to watch Galaxy Quest.
Moon, a
Because you
hard
suggested-
character study, but where he had to
You're
play
just not
2
gonna watch
roles.
'cause I
Yeah,
suggested
Moon was
it.
No.
good.
Because you don't
Nothing
stop
compared to
suggesting it.
Guy from Galaxy Quest.
Are you talking about Sam Rockwell?
Yes, he's
Nothing
brilliant.
compares to Sam Rockwell as Zaphod Beaverbrox.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Hitchhiker's Guide to
oh,
Galaxy.
Okay, it's a tie.
You're right.
It's a
All
tie.
right. All right.
It's a tie for
That's a
Guy
good
and
one.
Zaphod.
All right, anyway, he's not on there. It's Peter Quincy Taggart.
Oh yeah. I was never gonna
Commander
remember
Taggart.
That. Never
from,
remember that.
Peter.
I remember Jason Nesmith.
Peter.
You see the hat? I am Mr. Nesmith. Why didn't he do that in that movie? Because it's the same guy.
Oh.
Brilliant.
Coincidence?
I think not.
What movie are you talking about?
Galaxy Quest and Toy Story. He played Buzz Lightyear and Jason Nesmith.
Yeah, but remember when in Toy Story, didn't he say, my name is
Mrs. Nesmith, because he's going crazy. Hey, you see that? That was my favorite line in the entire movie.
You
That's
see
my
it?
favorite
You
line
see
in that
that?
entire movie.
Little sister.
You're a... I love that movie so much. Both
One
of
day
those
you're
movies.
in the whole galaxy. Next round, you're sucking down Darjeeling. I love that movie so much.
They're losing it over Toy Story quotes.
It's a brilliant movie.
He's like last round over Toy Story.
Steven, that is the reddest I've
I
ever
know,
seen you.
guys. He's like red, like
happening,
a
dude?
like a granny, like
Oh,
an apple,
goodness.
granny apple.
Oh, that's not right.
Okay, with your permission, can I continue best thing ever?
But have to give me a second.
Oh, I'm in trouble. All right. Round
Hello?
5. Round 5, we've got Star Fox from Star Fox versus Kara Starbuck Thrace from Battlestar Galactica.
I knew you were going to throw in Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Dude, Battlestar Galactica is so good,
Can I
dude.
borrow your series?
You can't beat Battlestar Galactica. You can't beat Battlestar Galactica with a bear.
What about a bear holding a beat?
Watching
Riding the Battlestar Galactica.
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
Holding a beat.
Thank you. No.
I'm gonna have to paint that one day.
Commander Shepard from Mass Effect versus Captain Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Make it so.
Engage.
Flash Gordon from Flash Gordon versus Buck Rogers from Buck Rogers.
Flash Gordon's the best.
Savior of the universe.
The
I
battle
want to
of
see the governor.
titular heroes there. And then in our final round, we have Space Ghost from Space Ghost versus Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story.
Buzz, Lightyear to the rescue.
Wait, why couldn't we get Duck Dodgers instead of Buck Rogers?
Because Buck Rogers is the original.
Yeah, who
Without
wants-
Buck Rogers, there's no Flash Gordon.
Nobody can fight. You can't fight against a duck. If you beat the duck, you don't get any points because you beat a duck. And if you get beat by the duck, you lose all cool points because you got beat by a duck.
Is it a blue duck?
I've never seen a blue duck. All right, so that is our best thing ever. You can go ahead and vote for your winner. We'll have it posted live at this time. I lost my phone. It's okay. I guess it's not terribly important. Just gonna kick it over there by Neff's foot. Don't pick it up. Do not pick up my phone with your foot. I'll get it. My goodness.
I was gonna get it for you, Tony.
No, it's okay.
I am the margarine man.
Domo arigato, Mister. Ugh.
Kilroy. It's Kilroy. I'm Kilroy.
That's what I thought. So again, check out challenge.com/BTE3 and vote on our social media platforms. And that's how you can help us decide who is the best thing ever. So I just got back. I was on a road trip, you guys. And I don't usually leave this general vicinity. I kind of wear out the 4-minute ride from my house to the church pretty regularly, but we actually left the state And then we went through a lot of states. My wife and my son and I got to visit the Garden State of New Jersey.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know if A is the right reaction when you get to visit New Jersey.
I've spent a total of 5 minutes in New Jersey in my entire life.
How is that possible?
When I was 10, my brother got married. My brother got married in like a small town called Upper Black Eddy, Pennsylvania. And super small town. So he went up for his wedding, and the nearest gas station to his fiance's house was in Jersey. So we had to go over this little bridge, go into Jersey, get gas, and then left.
Oh,
that was
my fault for asking.
I never said it was interesting. I just said it happened.
Yeah, so we went to New Jersey for a wedding. The lovely Tori Line is now the lovely Tori Jones.
Hey,
she got married. So several of us were invited. EJ, I guess you weren't. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's all good.
So
okay,
I wasn't a
invited,
part
but
of the
I
Nodcast.
couldn't go.
The Nod crew back then. So.
I was not able to.
So we all everybody kind of flew up there. Neff flew up. Jessica happened to be up there already, which is weird. And then our friend Sunny and of course Jackie, they flew up as well. They were in the wedding as bridesmaids. So my wife and I, we decided, well, we can fly up. But if you really want to do this right, you got to drive up. You got to full-on Griswold this thing.
Holiday Road.
100%. So everything minus Christy Brinkley, we decided to get in the car and do the Griswold thing in the old family roadster. And
So I have a question.
yeah.
During that road trip,
Uh-huh.
were there any like legitimate National Lampoon Vacation moments that you experienced?
Good question, Steven. We were driving through Virginia, and this is the second day on the road. And there was a theme park that every time we used to always do road trips with my dad when we were a kid, because that was what he liked to do, was drive. So we ended up driving through Virginia, and I saw the signs for this theme park called King's Dominion. And I remember stopping there like a lot when we would go on family vacations. Like we would always stop there. Even if we just go spend a few hours there, we'd always stop at King's Dominion. So I told Christian, I said, there's a theme park. My son, I said, there's a theme park this exit. He couldn't see it through the trees. And he's like, there's not. There's no theme parks up here. Totally is. So we actually pulled off the road, and I was going to take him to King's Dominion. And we got up there, and sure enough, big sign out in the front. Sorry, folks, park's closed. I'm like, what?
Was there a moose?
There was no moose.
Oh.
But I did have to jump out and take my obligatory, what picture. I guess we're spoiled living in Florida.
Yes.
Because we have theme parks here that
Yeah.
are open
All the
every
time.
single
Yeah,
day.
Because we have no seasons.
But
Yes.
that's which is true. But I guess in other parts of the country, in the off season, there's no need for those parks to be open because it would cost
Yeah.
more than it would make. So sure enough, that park was closed, which is that was probably the closest actual Griswold moment that we had.
You didn't tie your grandma's dog to the roof of the car.
They tied us to the back of the car. They
back of the
actually
car.
they put
Grandma on the
they
roof
put
of the car.
Aunt Edna on the roof of the car. But it was really cool. We got to go and do a lot of things. We turned it into a kind of a family vacation. We went to Philadelphia and got to dig all that kind of stuff. And while we were in Philadelphia, we ended up hooking up with Neff, who was up there as well.
Yeah.
So Neff rode down and hung out with us, and we
That's cool.
jumped in the rental car and checked out the whole city, man. How many cheesesteaks did we eat that day now?
3.
3 cheesesteaks in a short afternoon.
Yes. And I can't. Reading Terminal Market, which is the most beautiful thing.
So listen, I want you guys to imagine a building that has an entire floor that's a giant food court of the best food you've ever seen in your
Okay.
life.
I'm sold.
Listen, it was such a beautiful thing, and I have a friend who grew up across the river from Philadelphia in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and she said, "You got to go to this place. This is what's up." And this place was like vegetable market, meat market. I mean, more uncooked bacon than I've ever seen in my entire life. I saw in this place. I mean, just big corners of just Italian food,
Beef jerky,
like you wouldn't even believe, like you read about.
Chinese, Korean, Japanese.
They had all this like farm fresh stuff. They like Neff went and got some like grain fed milk. It was like I don't even know how. What was it?
True
I saw
Amish.
Did you snap about it? You
I
drank
did.
it.
He
And
got
you
a little
snapped.
jug of milk.
Pennsylvania
Yep.
Amish.
We got these donuts, which were by far the
Oh.
greatest donuts I've ever had
So
in my entire life.
good.
And they make them right there. You can watch them make them. They roll the things out. They have this little roller thing that puts the holes in it, and then they drop it in the thing and they fry it up, and then they just they put it on a little nozzle and just fill it with magic.
Yes.
So good.
They sprinkle it with dew.
All right, we need to take a field trip.
For real.
Yes.
For real.
A
Let's
knock
take the
trip.
show on the road,
A
I
guys.
would pay more money.
the
to
mics
go
on
to
the
A
truck.
knock
Reading
trip
Terminal.
to
go.
Philly and DC.
So Neff, when Neff went up there, I don't know where the information got twisted, Neff, but you ended up flying into the wrong city. Like,
Well, I flew into the right city,
Where did you fly into?
Trenton Mercer Airport.
okay, that's not the right city.
No.
I thought you were supposed to go to Philly.
I did go to Philly.
No, I was
but you
supposed
didn't,
to land
you didn't
in
fly
Philly.
to Philly.
No, I did not.
So Neff got up there, and now where this wedding was kind of at the halfway point between Atlantic City and Philadelphia. So either of those airports would have been great. Trenton, not so great.
About an hour away from the wedding.
Whoa.
But Neff wasn't super worried about it because he was just going to rent a car and hang out and do the whole thing until
I didn't know they needed a credit card to rent a car. So all I had was cash and debit.
and they would accept neither. So now Neff is an hour away from where all the action's happening and all the people are, and he ain't got no way to get to where the people are.
I want to be where the people are.
So my man Neff takes an Uber.
Yes.
Neff learned a
Probably
lot of
about 20,
lessons
30 bucks.
about
I did.
travel.
It wouldn't have been a problem if Neff was able to get a rental car.
Yeah,
or
I mean,
or
would've
if I
been
had
a-
been able to split costs with somebody.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
What was the Uber from the airport?
Nick,
to the-
Nick, you let him down.
That was a harsh glance.
yeah, Nick, where were you, Nick?
Steve-O.
Dang it, Sadler.
Word.
Sadler.
Nick.
Sadler.
I was watching a house.
Sadler's our Uber driver. He's our
right.
on staff.
I said
Nog Uber.
I told Nick he's watching my house. So regardless of whose fault it was, and
It
that
was my
Steven,
fault.
that Steven
I was
Steven's
supposed to
fault.
go. I wasn't able to get the time off of work because somebody at my two people at my job had to take a vacation because their daughter/sister were getting married.
you know, I'm gonna reserve my comments on your occupational
No, you can go
dilemmas.
ahead. Nobody that listens to this show works at my job anymore.
Quit your job. So
I second that.
so Neff meets us down in the city, and we had a great time, dude, riding around.
It was awesome.
It was just one of the more fun days that I've ever had.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
And it was really, really fun.
I'm
And-
glad I'm glad I got to spend it with you guys because doing it alone would have been much worse.
Oh yeah, no, but we had a lot of laughs, dude. And like those. Did you have some of those pretzels?
I did. I had a pretzel dog.
Holy crap!
It was
man.
the greatest.
Like, you got
pretzel
this Amish
anything.
girl back. I know this is Nerd Christ podcast, and we're talking about food.
This is our.
Oh,
nerd
I'm
thing.
okay with
Nothing
that.
We're
has
gonna-
changed.
We're gonna
dude.
do a.
That's
I am
crazy.
okay with that.
Listen, we're doing a spin-off show. It's
Food
gonna,
is
it's
my
gonna be like the
fandom.
Food of
Yes.
Godcast. So
The Nom of Godcast.
so we're gonna.
It's a snack time addendum.
This Amish lady is rolling out this dough on this countertop, and she's rolling, and she doesn't take just like little hot dogs or whatever. She takes big old giant sausages that they like are making the sausages there.
Yes,
puts
Lord.
it in there, rolls this thing up. They're baking it. It's like mine eyes have seen the glory. It's just wonderful.
Praise him.
And praise him. So the next day we go to the wedding. We do Tori's wedding. It was a great time. We were blessed to be there.
was very
I
fun.
officiated the wedding, so that was a tremendous honor to be able to be part of their special
Jackie
day.
was a bridesmaid.
Jackie and Sunny was a bridesmaid, so that was a lot of fun for us to do. I got to sneak in some cool nerd references into their vows.
I heard.
So
I heard it was
good.
awesome.
Wait.
So
wait.
good.
I wasn't
It was
there.
amazing.
So you have to,
I
you
heard
have
it
to
was
tell
awesome.
tell me and Nick what was said.
It's not important what was said. I peppered a little Star Wars lines into it. I basically when they exchanged rings,
Oh,
I had him and her say this to each other. Victoria Noel line, I choose you. You know, so a little
that's
Pokemon
cool.
deal. Some Lord of the Rings stuff in their vows. I would rather face
Did
one
they
life
speak
with
Elven?
you. No, but she had this cool like headpiece that she
Yes.
She had everyone's headpiece.
that was an Elvish.
she wore an Elvis
Hunka.
wig.
No, she wore.
Shaped like peanut butter and banana.
I saw a picture. It had like the ears and everything.
It had
That's
the ears.
cool.
The Elvis
It-
ears.
It didn't have
Elvis
it didn't
ears,
have the
yeah.
ears on it, but it kind of like went over her ears.
Yeah.
Well, the
That's
actual
cool.
piece was Arwen's headpiece.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It was
It
a
was
lightly-
really.
For
I
when
guess
she
a friend
married
of hers
Aragorn.
made it or what. It was really.
It was a lightly
Really, really
Elvis
cool.
themed wedding. You should have seen Ben's outfit. Lots of glitter.
White
And blue suede
sequin
shoes.
jumpsuit. Really, really nice. Huge belt buckle. Huge belt buckle. No, but it was really, really a great time. So we just had a blast hanging out with them on that big day. That being said, it was a really, really good time. We send blessings to Tori and Ben, and they actually came on a honeymoon to Orlando, Florida. So
They did.
On our way back, they were already here, and we caught up with them. They came to church with us on Sunday, and I took them back to the airport. Before I did, I asked them to film a video for us, so you can find that on our YouTube page right now.
What?
They did a video talking about it's our first high five video, our 5 favorite couples, romantic couples in Nerdland. So they shared that up there, and you can see that right now on the YouTubes. So check them out and like and subscribe. Speaking of couples, we're going to be talking a little bit about some romance stuff today, if you guys will indulge me. You guys have heard of these couples, celebrity couples, they get together, and what's the first thing that the paparazzi, what's the first thing that that media does when you have a guy and a gal get together?
Nicknames.
They do the nicknames, exactly.
Bennifer.
So you have Bennifer,
Brangelina.
That was Ben and Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez, or Jennifer Carter.
I know,
Garner,
Garner, you know.
Not anymore.
Bad Electra. So,
Ghibli.
and then you have, what did you say?
Brangelina.
Brangelina, which is Brad and Angelina, or Tomcat, which was...
Neither of them, none of those custom.
Tom Cruise and
Katie
Holmes.
Holmes.
Katie Holmes, very, very good. So,
AKA Crazy Tom.
So jumping up on
Jumping
the
on
couch.
Out control, the Crazy Tom.
He's still Maverick to me. He's got the need for speed. So we're gonna play a game called Couple Name Pending. And
Couples therapy.
so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you guys the celebrity couple name, the name mashup for a fictional couple, a nerdy franchise couple. Could be a real couple, could be a couple that I just made up, but they will be from the same franchise, so we're not gonna get anything crossed up. I'm gonna give you the name first. If you know, go ahead and ring in on your buzzer, just like that. You don't have to ring in just yet, but that's what it's going to sound like. So for everybody has their own buzzers ready and working. I will give you the name of the couple. If nobody gets it, I will give you the genre from which the couple exists. And if you still can't get it, I will give you the specific name of whatever they are from. For instance, our first one would be Jiggly Chew. Steve-O.
That was Jessica.
Oh, sorry, Jessica.
Jigglypuff and Pikachu.
Jigglypuff and Pikachu.
Oh, so they're not romantic couples.
Well, some of them are, some of them aren't.
I mean,
I want to see the Pokemon that comes out of that.
Yeah.
So they're mostly romantic couples, but
Okay.
not always. Not always.
I figured Jigglychew was
So-
Jigglypuff Pikachu, but I was thrown off.
It was going to be Pika Puff or Jiggly Chew. I wasn't 100% sure.
Well, I like Pika Puff.
Pika
Those
Puff.
both sound like cotton candy bubble gum.
I know. It's like, I don't know what it is, but it tastes fruity.
It's a new
So, again, if you didn't get that right, I would have said it is from a video game and cartoon. If you didn't get that right, I would have said it's from Pokemon. So just so you guys can understand the breakdown. Okay, so now that was our test round. Jessica, will you keep score for
Sure.
everybody? Because you have a pen and pad in front of you
As
right now.
always.
And here we go. Question number 1. This couple is called Zinc. Steven.
Zelda and Link.
Zelda and Link is
Oh,
correct.
nice.
So since you got it first, you get 3 points without
Sweet.
needing the clues. Okay. Second one. Pick Crusher. I got Steven.
Jean-Luc Picard and Beverly Crusher.
Jean-Luc Picard and Beverly Crusher from
This is
Star
a
Trek
long
Next
buzzer
Generation.
sound.
Hit it again.
Man.
It doesn't matter if it's long. It just matters where it starts.
Yeah.
All right. This couple's name is Pony.
Pepper Potts and Tony Stark.
Can you see my...
No, I cannot.
Are you cheating me?
I promise you I'm
I
not.
feel like you are a little bit. It is Pepper Potts and Tony Stark from Iron Man. So Steven is up 9 to 0 to 0 to 0 to 0. Might have to change my scoring thing. I don't think it's fair. All right. Leanne. It's tricky. It's from a science fiction film.
Leia and Han.
It is Leia and Han.
Ooh.
Very good. So 2 points
I was like, that's
for
a name.
Jessica.
Like, that's an actual name.
I know. Yeah. All right. Next one up is Clois. I got Nick
Jessica.
on that one first.
Clark Kent and Lois Lane.
Clark Kent and Lois Lane. Very good. Here we go on some tricky ones. They're going to get a little harder, guys. Irie.
Irie.
Everything be right. Irie.
Come on, Irie.
Irie. Neff.
Iris West and Barry Allen.
got
Iris
it.
and Barry.
Iris and Barry.
Very good. I was
Very
thinking. I was trying to
nice.
think of Iris. I'm like, as soon as you rang in, I was thinking Iris West.
Jolie.
St. Nicholas.
Jolie.
Jolie St. Nicholas. That's funny. Have a holy Jolie Christmas. Jolie.
I'll give you the genre. Comic books. Or cartoon. Lots of things that become cartoons. Also cartoons. Comic books. Jolie.
Joker and Harley Quinn.
Joker and Harley.
Nice.
2 points. Megamus. Megamus.
Megatron and Optimus Prime.
Megatron and Optimus Prime. Normally, I'm not trying to ship 2 dudes, but you can tell there's some tension there. I'm sure if they can transform.
Well,
never
Jiggly
mind.
Chew.
Wow.
I confirmed with my son that a Pikachu can be a female.
Yes.
Get a Jigglypuff. So,
You know, plus or minus.
those are Pokemans, right?
Yes.
All right, Steggy.
Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter.
Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter.
Thank you, Tumblr.
You guys are doing really good at this. Cyclenix. I got Jess.
Cyclops and Phoenix.
Cyclops and Phoenix. All right, I thought these were going to be harder. You guys are doing really good. Eevee.
Wally and Eevee.
Wally and Eve.
I'm like,
Eve,
that's
yeah.
a Pokemon. I was like, Eevee
Eve.
and Eevee?
All right.
I'm like evolution of.
Brendan Fraser's character from The Mummy.
Seraph.
Aerith and Sephiroth. Nope. I rang in before.
Yes.
Made up relationship, too.
I know. I rang. Hey, there's 2 people the same thing.
Seraph. I'm
I
not Japanese, so she's not Aerith to me.
I
Funny, she doesn't look Aerith.
I rang it. I rang in before I had an answer.
All right. Genre, musical film. It's a movie, but it's a musical. Remember, they're all still kind of nerdy or fantasy or, the things that we talk about. Labyrinth.
Jareth and... Is her name Sarah?
Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
I just felt
1
bad
point.
because I couldn't remembered.
Never seen that movie.
Jareth, the
Really?
Goblin King. Go see it
David
now.
Bowie.
We'll
I've
watch
seen
it
that
together.
movie. I've seen the movie so
good.
much when I was a kid, but I blanked on his name.
It's got Jennifer Connelly in it, who's like my celebrity crush, but she's.
Besides Idris Elba.
Yeah.
I didn't say she's my first.
All right. Next one.
Nelba.
Melba.
Never Dangerous Elba.
Melba.
I ship
Idris.
it. I ship it.
Idref.
Yeah, stop.
Freela.
Freela.
Frederick.
From an animated series. Steven.
Fry and Layla. Fry and Layla.
Oh.
You sure?
Yes.
Neff.
Brian Leela.
Leela.
I haven't watched Futurama.
He did
in
just
so
say
long.
Freela.
All right, here we go. Next one. You Rock.
Thank you.
Nope.
Oh.
You Rock. Or I guess technically Urok.
Uraka.
Jessica.
Spock and Uhura?
Spock and Uhura
Oh.
is it. Star Apollo.
Star Apollo.
If you don't know it now, you might not get it. Sci-fi TV show. Okay. Battlestar Galactica.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna get
Frick
this.
that,
No,
dude.
you're the only one that's seen Battlestar Galactica.
Which-
Star Lord and Apollo Creed. I'm just gonna throw it.
That's the next Creed sequel.
Now you got a stew going. No, Apollo and Starbuck.
That means 0 to me, right?
Sure.
It's a shame.
Should let me borrow the series?
All right. Ripley Steven.
I don't know.
Neff.
Ellen Ripley and the Alien.
Ellen and
Oh.
Ripley and the Alien.
See, I went Ellen Ripley. I'm like,
From Alien-
she wasn't involved with anybody.
From Alien.
And that's what I thought.
But I forgot
was
about the
her,
alien.
From
but
either Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection. 'Cause
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
yeah.
Ugh.
All right.
Poor Amanda.
Katnita.
I think that was Nick. His just takes 9 years.
I got Jessica.
Katniss and Peeta.
Katniss and Peeta. I can't do it the other way because it's dirty.
Kale.
Don't
Kale?
think too much about it. Clarice. Or Clarith, depending on where you're reading it from. Steven.
Cloud and Eris.
Cloud and Eris. Very good. Martifer.
Marty McFly and Jennifer
I
Parker.
didn't call on you.
Raise your hand, wait your turn.
This my sound is the time circuits.
Thane.
I don't know why I keep bringing it when I don't know the answer. Thane.
Oh,
No, I'm
Jessica.
No, I'm still answering. I just gotta make
You
something
just
up.
said you don't know the answer.
Yeah, but I can still
That
answer.
means that you're done.
Jessica.
Bane and Talia al Ghul.
Oh, very good, but no.
No.
Talia. It's Talia.
Talia.
It's spelled
Good
T-A.
answer.
It's Talia. It's pronounced Talia.
Thane.
the thalamus gland and a vein.
Very good. 2 points for net. No. That's not right.
Thane.
No other guess?
Hold on, wait.
I can give you the genre.
Hold on, wait.
Comic book.
Thor and Jane
Foster.
Jane
Jane
Foster,
Goodall-
thank
Jane-
you.
Jane Goodall in the gym.
Yes.
I was gonna say Jane Parker because I was
Monkey.
like, that's not it. Thor Jane.
Yeah, but you already rang in unsuccessfully. So
On the first one.
Man,
on
I was
that
thinking
one,
Thanos and Death, but I was like, that doesn't make any
no,
sense.
it's Thane.
And Death's name is actually Jane.
Home Starzapan. Really?
Home Depot and Marzipan.
I know where it's from.
Home Starzapan. It's Homestar Runner and Marzipan.
Oh.
So I got Marzipan, right?
Oh my
I
gosh.
said,
I
It was
got
Homestar
the
Runner.
Homestar, obviously.
I didn't want to.
what
assume
is
it was
that?
Marzipan
What is
'cause I've
that?
never
What are you
seen it.
talking?
Marzipan. You don't remember Homestar Runner?
Homestar wanna.
He may be a bit too young.
It's what we did on the internet before YouTube was invented.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Homestarrunner.com.
Homestar10.net.
It's .com.
Homestar10.net.
It's .com. Homestar
Strong
Runner
Bad's
was a
emails.
website where they had all these cool little cartoon characters, and they
was
would
like
do
Flash animation.
all these little animated
Everything was
cartoons, and they
Flash
even had
animation
they had a
back
character named Strong Bad who was like a
A
little
luchador.
I've heard of
luchador,
Strong
and he would answer emails that people would send in.
Here we go. I got an email.
Is HomestarRunner.com still on?
remember
I think
that.
it is. I think it is.
It's
They
all
had-
Flash based, so I don't think you can get on it. on
That's
your
where we
iPhone.
get Trogdor.
And it's appropriate for kids.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't
There's
inappropriate.
nothing dirty on
There's
there
a
at all.
couple like probably adult jokes, but not like adult themed jokes.
Yeah,
like
nothing
So like
jokes
Nothing
Animaniacs
crass.
type deal.
Very, very much so along those lines.
But they and they would do like small, like they had like Strong Bad had like a comic series that he would do with like, was it with the cheerleaders? I just remember the ugly one. That's the only thing I remember. And then all these cheers, and every would do the ugly one.
All right, last one. Scolder.
Oh,
Mulder and Scully.
Mulder and Scully. So
I
very
knew
good.
that one. I'm so mad.
Adding up the scores, it looks like Steven is in third place.
No,
What?
Lee's in
Jessica
first.
is in second
What's the scores?
place.
Read the scores, Dave.
And EJ wins
Yeah.
for
we
non-participation.
were doing golf rules.
Hey man, I was
6,
trying, man.
8, 15, and 23.
23. Great
4,
job,
8,
Steve.
15, 16, 23,
Steve-O.
42.
Everybody give
Primo.
Steve-O some snaps. No, I meant
Snap.
Snapchat him.
I can't snap with my right hand.
That sounds like a personal problem.
I can snap with my left. I'm all right.
So we're talking about these couples. We're talking about, Ben and Tori got married, and we all, we traveled across the country for that, and all these, celebrity fictitious couples. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about marriage. Let's talk about dating. Let's talk about the love. When springtime comes upon us and a young man's fancy turns to that of romance.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near?
Just like me, they long to be close to you.
I can't hit that note.
We going Tiny Tim? Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that's where I'll be. Tiptoe through the tulips with me. Oh! So love. Woo, love. Well, tell me about love. What is love?
Baby, don't hurt me.
I saw it happening in slow motion. As soon as the words came out of my mouth, I went, "Oh no!" EJ, love.
Love.
Love is patient.
Well, yeah.
Love is a many splendid thing.
All you need is love.
I don't know, man.
All you need is love.
Love is a mysterious
All
thing. I
you
think
need
it's
is
just
love.
it's the thing. I don't know. It's the thing that helps you get past, I guess, little qualms or issues or things that might keep you from liking a person or caring about a person. Love is that thing that breaks through all of that. And I don't know, whether it's relationships, friendships, family. That's what I think love is.
So love is what keeps us together.
Yes.
It's the jelly in our roll.
Amen.
Right on. Jessica, what do you think about love?
I am not an emotional person. I
Is
was
lo-
not prepared for
okay,
this.
So is love an emotion?
Well, yeah. It's also brain chemistry, but it's emotion.
She's
I've
so
been watching a lot of
Is
Bones.
what?
It's
She's
just a
so
group of
brain-
neurons
she's so soulless.
firing off in your head.
So what if it's an emotion, if it's neurons firing off in your head, what is it that compels us to love? What is it that makes it such an important thing for people? In your opinion?
It's the glue that keeps people together. That's all I know.
Have you ever been in love before?
Yeah.
Steven?
Is it the same question to me, or you want to know what love is?
What is love?
Love lifts us up where we belong. Love, I mean, one of the greatest definitions of love that I've always heard is that love is when you just put somebody else before yourself.
Yeah.
So when you love somebody, it's not just about like what you want. It's like I want that person to just be everything. Whether that is, I mean, that's to me that's more romantic love. But same thing, like, and like when we love God, God is above everything, and that is like that love from God is mirrored in us. So like when we love other people, whether it be romantically or friendships or like a mentorship or kids or parents, it's you're showing how God feels about us to other people.
Okay, well let's talk about let's talk about specifically romantic love, because there's that philios love, there's that agape love, but I'm talking, when a man loves a woman, I mean I'm talking like romantic love.
Yeah.
That's a different thing, because I mean I love you guys, but I love you guys in a very different way than I love my wife.
Thankfully.
Yes, and not even bordering on inappropriate talk or anything like that. Just when we come together. I mean, what was the first thing when God made the world? Hey, here's duckies and bunnies and clouds in the sky and water, and it's all good. It's good. It's good. It's good. But the first thing that was ever not good was He said it's not good for man to be alone. And if you ever need to know the goodness of love, think about the absence of love, that feeling of loneliness. I mean, have you ever felt that before?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a rough feeling. But last night when we were putting some of our merchandise together for this weekend, I put on my 1960s playlist, and I was telling these guys, I'm like, yeah, I remember when I'm in middle school. And in middle school, every emotion is turned up to 11. Like when you have a crush on someone, it's like everything. You just hang on every thought, every word, every touch. And I remember those songs would just kind of get you through those, when a man loves, or you can't hurry love, no, you just have to wait, and all these different songs, right?
I love that song.
And the different ones that kind of perfectly describe the story of either that feeling of love, that exuberance, or the loneliness when love is evasive and elusive.
It's always fun for me to look back like on my like first relationships and like relationships I had like in high school when I was a teenager. It's like what I thought love was at the time, or when I thought I was in love, just because that was the most that I had ever felt at that time. To when you go back and you're like, I was actually in love, and then when I go back and look at when I thought I was in love, like you can, when you know something, it's different from when you think something.
Yeah, I guess that's true. When and we have these. I mean, we obviously share kind of a passion for these fictional universes, and the comic books and games and things like that. Look at some examples of love. Neff actually brought with him something in anticipation of our conversation today, and this is the Superman The Wedding album, #1, December 1996. Did you read this, Neff?
I did.
Tell me about the love of a boy named Clark and his girl named Lois.
Well, I guess at this point in the storyline, their 60 plus year relationship at this point when this book came out. They were going through a rough patch, and like they had separated for a bit. And
So let's get married because that makes everything better.
well, and then he Lois was.
Is this
went to-
post him dying?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he still has a.
Ponytail,
Oh, he's got a
the long
ponytail.
hair. Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
Super mullet.
Yep. Although at the end of it, he cuts it off.
Right
Spoiler
on.
alert. It's
Right
really
on.
awesome.
Spoiler
I'm
alert.
pretty
Welcome
sure-
back, Superman. We can respect.
Yeah. Exactly. Coming out of the trailer.
So what is it about? And anybody can jump in on this because I'm sure you're all familiar with the Clark Kent Lois Lane. I mean, what is it about their story? What is it about them together? And where have they worked as a couple the best? I mean, there's been so many different incarnations of Lois and Clark. Where do you say, yeah, that's where they click? I mean,
Dean
did you
Cain
guys
is Terry Hatcher
did you believe the Henry Cavill and Amy Adams?
at times, but not
Nah.
really. And I'm sorry, I can't stand Margot Kidder, so I don't like Superman and Lois Lane really. Like I get it. It's never really captured. Like I've never really got caught feels about it.
And originally, I mean, she was more like there was almost like a foil relationship where he was constantly rescuing her, but then how come I've never seen you and Superman in the same place? And he's trying to turn to the camera and winks. He's outsmarting her before they developed it into a real romantic relationship. I think Lois and Clark was kind of built on the romance. That was the cornerstone of the story that they had there. And all the other Superman stories, it just kind of seems shoehorned in
Yeah.
a little bit. Like, I'm going to rescue her. And I just started playing Injustice 2. I picked it up today.
Oh, nice.
I forgot that it came out.
And the storyline of the Injustice game was that Joker ended up tricking Superman, poisoning Superman somehow, and tricking him into killing Lois, which caused Superman to snap. And he just decided to become
pregnant Lois.
Pregnant Lois, indeed. So it caused Superman to snap, and he became the dictator of the world. We're going to kill all the criminals and stop crime before it happens. Pushes him over the edge. So I mean, that might be like a very deep portrayal of their love. Like when you see somebody that you feel so compelled to protect, and then you fail to protect them.
Well, I mean that in comics even in Crisis on Infinite Earths, which. I gotta just one part. It's real quick. It's not even like a spoiler, but like
Because I'm reading it. That's
He's
why.
reading
Yeah, because we're all. Oh, you're reading it right now.
Yes,
well, it's like a 30 or 40
I'm
year old.
saying it's not 40 years old.
It's
You
not
need to get
40.
you need to get a quick
I don't
grip
even
on
think
how
it's a
old you think
30-year-old.
these comics are, pal.
Isn't it from the late 80s?
Yes. Anyway, Earth 2 Superman, who's like the older Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gray hair Superman.
His universe kind of like goes in remission, and so he doesn't have Lois Lane anymore. And you see him kind of like lose his stuff. Like he just goes crazy. He's like, I have to tear the universe apart again so I could be with Lois again. And it's like this dude
Yeah, I'm not there
depends.
yet.
He depends so much on his relationship with her that he's willing to like destroy one entire universe and world just to be with her again.
Man, and they say Batman is screwed up. I mean, what is this guy?
That's
I mean, he's
wild.
got some issues. Like, I lost my parents already, when my planet blew up, so I can't lose. Like, Superman has some mommy issues.
Yeah, they do that a lot in DC too, because Green Lantern wanted to do that too. In
It's crazy.
what was that one you lent me? I can't remember the name of
0 hour.
Yeah, you know what happens when one of Batman's love interests dies? He moves on.
Yeah, he keeps
because
moving
he's the
on.
Batman.
it. Yes, but Batman.
He jumps in his Lamborghini
Batman
and does what he has
was
to do.
born from death, so he's used to it.
My goodness.
If you lose your parents, pretty sure that you could take the death of a loved one too when you're 10. That's what happened.
Well, all right. So who's a comic book character, a comic book couple that does work?
Comic book specifically?
Well, I mean, so by basis of comparison, I don't know that we're going to necessarily compare Lois and Clark to Romeo and Juliet, which is a terrible couple, actually, now that I
Yeah.
mention it.
They're pretty
yeah.
bad.
Couple teenagers that, like, let's just kill ourselves. Okay, you guys. Let's pretend to kill ourselves. Oh, sweet apothecary. And then medicine's quick.
Peter Parker, Mary Jane.
Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Not Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy?
Depends on the Gwen Stacy. I like the Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy relationship in the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I liked the chemistry between Emma Stone and what's his name? Whose
Andrew
name?
Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
One of my favorite moments in those movies, it wasn't even a scripted moment. It was just a great moment of either acting or directing. Was when they meet each other in the hallway and he kind of stammers out like a "we should go out" sort of thing, and she kind of stammers back like, "Oh yeah, okay." And they kind of have that first official like, "I like you, do you like me?" And when she's like, "Well, I gotta go," he's like, "Oh yeah, you should get going." And like she walks away, and he just sort of jumps in place and just sort of like runs. Like you can tell that energy, that nervous energy that's in him, and he just sort of runs. That was one of the greatest depictions of like the fun and the excitement and the terror that comes with that moment of like having to act on love. Yeah. Love is one of those things that like it's a feeling, right? Mm-hmm. But until it becomes an action, I don't think it really fully materializes into what it is. And how does Superman show his love for Lois? By rescuing her, before
by destroying the world to get to her.
And that's weird, and that's kind of unbalanced, and we talk about all these different relationships, but I love that moment since you mentioned that, Stephen, where like the real humanity of that. And go in Marvel Cinematic Universe because they have done so many good things. I love the romance between Pepper Potts and Tony Stark because the dynamic between the two of them. I mean, you've seen these movies.
She's very independent, and he needs that.
And he's very dependent, but he doesn't want to be. But she knows how to kind of counter his. I need to be in charge of myself, but I also need someone to help me. Yeah. Really, really great portrayal. I love the way that relationship evolves from part 1 to part 2, even into part 3. Dude, one of the most heartbreaking moments, in my opinion, in Avengers.
Avengers or Civil War?
Avengers.
Oh. I thought you were
Did I stutter?
No, I thought you were mentioning because that's like Avengers, unofficial Avengers 3.
Avengers, when he calls her and she's on the plane and she misses his
yeah. Sorry, I forgot
powerful
about
moment,
that.
man.
I thought you. Sorry. I thought you were mentioning a different moment.
I know. Keep telling me why you were wrong. So, what else?
Penny and Desmond from Lost.
That's a big thing for you.
Yes.
Unpack that for people who have not watched Lost or who, for like me, it's been forever and you've forgotten. Okay,
the quick version of this, because there's a lot of backstory to it. Penny and Desmond are people on the show Lost. Desmond is not somebody who crashed. He crashed on the island, but not with the plane with everybody else. He was already on the island, crashed on a boat. And Penelope, or Penny, was his girlfriend from back home. Long story short, he leaves to go on a sailing race around the world to prove his worthiness to her father, so that way he can marry Penny. But in order to do so, he has to basically leave Penny and break up with her, so that way she won't be holding him back, so he can prove his worth. But
so to get her, he has to leave her.
Yes. And there's more in-depth reasons why.
And her father obviously didn't have his best interests in mind.
No, his father at one point her father has a conversation with him and pours a little thing of scotch. It's like a swallow's worth, and he's like, this swallow of scotch is worth more than you can make in a year. So why, if you're not worthy of my scotch, what makes you think you're worthy of my daughter?
Well,
but he loves her, and there's one of my favorite moments of the entire show is he's on this boat in the middle of the ocean, right off the island, and he ends up making a phone call with her, and the whole thing is they're just saying no matter what happens, I'm going to find you, we're going to be together again, because that's their driving force, basically, to live. And it's just, you can just see it in the performances of the actors, but you can really, really feel it whenever you watch this, and just the little like flashbacks that you see with them and how their relationship builds and their interactions, not even with each other, just with other people about each other, is really well done. It just makes you like, these people just love each other.
Well, now how realistic is that?
I mean, in regards to the show, it's pretty realistic, but the show's not super realistic.
No, not based on, obviously, islands that travel through. Yes. I don't even understand how the show worked. I watched every episode. I still don't get it. But based on the reality of what love is, when we see these portrayals, love depends on rescue, or love depends on being someone's constant, or love says, you complete me. What's the reality of it? Because when we're inspired by the romantic stories, whether they come from the rom-coms or whether they come from romance novel, or whether they, which terrible, when you look at all these different media portrayals of what love looks like, whether they're kind of shoehorned into a comic book movie, whether it's a feature of a television show, people want love. Love is an innate human need: food, shelter, and companionship. And yet you have culture that's selling these pictures of love that are maybe not realistic. That it has to be this story of I'll always find you always, or a story, something even that's like dark and twisted, like these 50 Shades movies that are coming out like that. Is that portrayed as love? I mean, I don't think so, but I think that it's trying to scratch the itch of people's need for love and for acceptance. What's the reality of it beyond Han and Leia? Beyond,
I think for me, when we get into like movies and comics and stories, it's like they go into detail and whatnot, but even after you watch a whole movie, you read a story, it's almost like the highlights of it. Because for me, when I think about love, it's the everyday. Like, it's almost, you can't necessarily portray that in a comic or a movie or a story, like the everyday, like, okay, we just got into a really big argument. I know that I love you, and I know that there's this innate feeling that I'm supposed to be with you, and I want to ride this life out with you, and I want to raise children with you, or I want to build a home with you, and I want to get married to you and with you. But I think it's kind of dangerous when when you're talking about the 50 Shades of Grey, or like when we talk about these stories, it's almost like it creates this, maybe like this pseudo love or this pseudo concept of what love really is. But for me, love is really getting down to the nitty gritty. And because we're all different, but you have two people that are completely different, that we yearn for companionship. But then what happens when you put these two people together in a matrimony? It's not always easy. It's not always cake. It's not always peaches and cream. But I don't think a lot of that is talked about and delved through in comics and movies and stories.
Because it's more expedient to kind of tell the real quick syrupy version of it.
Yeah.
Like we're next door neighbors, and my secret identity, so obviously we're going to fall in love. Or because we're running from the Galactic Empire together, so obviously we're going to fall in love. Or we're trapped in an elevator, or whatever. We're the most attractive people in this movie, so obviously we're going to fall in love.
Yeah, like not to interrupt, but it just kind of reminds me of, like, for example, I know this sounds really silly, but like I can't think of Bruce Wayne eating cereal. Like, I know this sounds really funny, but like I can't imagine superheroes doing particular like everyday things. And I think it's because for me, like, they're portrayed in such a like always on the move, always jumping in an airplane, jumping off of a cliff, saving a person. But it's like that every day. And I think Batman vs Superman was the first time in a while that and even not to get into, I guess, things that could possibly be inappropriate, but just there's particular scenes or moments in movies that kind of capture, certain things for me. And like in Batman vs Superman, some of the relationship between Superman and Lois, I was like, okay, I can kind of see how certain things would happen.
He comes home, he's got the grocery bag.
Yes. Like I've never really seen that or felt that for myself.
At that point, you weren't seeing Superman, you're seeing Clark.
Yes. And it felt good to kind of feel like, okay, yeah, I get how that relationship would work. Because, in my mind, I'm like, and for example, I'm reading Perceptions, Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man, and then before that I was Torment. And so there were moments where like Peter Parker would come home and Mary Jane is like cooking dinner, and like I'm reading this and I was like, it feels weird reading it because it's almost like I've never been in the kitchen with Peter Parker and not Lois Lane, Peter Parker and Mary Jane having just a regular conversation, how you and I would have a regular conversation. So I think and it's cool sometimes when stories are like that and they show that, because a lot of times I feel like it's more like a highlight reel. Mm-hmm. So love, I don't think is portrayed a lot of time in that every day.
I think that sometimes even the romantic interest is really used more as kind of a MacGuffin to sort of say, oh, well, here's Mary Jane and he has feelings for her, but now the Green Goblin's got her, so plot device, and that sort of, let's move the story forward instead of the mundane, instead of the everyday things, which Marvel's been pretty good at portraying and you're talking about Torment. I think it's in that same it was the storyline leading up to that in Amazing Spider-Man in the early 300s, where they were having financial problems. They got kicked out of their apartment and different things like that. So Spider-Man, I think in particular, has been really good at showing I'm struggling because I'm a superhero and I just got beat up by Electro, but then I got to go home and we're having a hard time paying the bills, and I'm having to make the ends meet, and there's kind of this real life nitty gritty of life is tough and life is hard, but I'm glad that I have you in the middle of it.
Yeah,
and that's why I think Peter and Mary Jane kind of worked. We were digging through a box of comics the other day at the house, and I came across the wedding issue. The Spider-Man wedding issue, and I was looking at that, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I think that these characters want to have each other, and I think that's why we can relate with them on that level. It's hard to relate with Han and Leia,
yeah,
because that's sort of the Gone with the Wind in space.
Yeah.
I love you, I hate you, kiss me, that kind of thing. But yeah, to the point of like Batman versus Superman, and that's where Batman I think has a hard time, because Batman doesn't live in the reality of the day-to-day relationship.
Batman's a 1%er.
To be sure. But even in his relationship, he's way more comfortable with Talia al Ghul or with Catwoman than he's ever going to be with Vicky Vale.
Yes. Yeah, and
Vicky Vale, that was a good one.
Yeah, like Michael Keaton
Yes.
goes, are we going to try to make this work? I'd like to. But right now he's out there and I've got to go to work.
That's not like when you think of all these other superheroes, Peter Parker, Superman, Green Lantern, Thor, they have like what you would consider like one significant other that you compare them with, but Batman doesn't really have just one.
Batman has a little black book.
See, Batman has many, but he has none at the same time.
Exactly.
No,
and I think part of it, like the only time, other than like in Tim Burton's Batman, that I've ever read where Batman actually opened himself up to let somebody into who he was as Batman.
Let him in because Alfred let her in the Batcave.
Oh, I know. That's why
let's be honest.
I'm yes, because Alfred made a terrible mistake.
First off,
he also let in
the best part about Batman Forever. Or Batman Returns was when he called Alfred out. He's like, I'm not the one who let Vicky Vale in the Batcave. Like, thank you for acknowledging that happened.
But there was a comic line that I read where Silver St. Cloud comes back into Batman's life, and
for Silver St. Cloud is a old school Batman love interest,
and just through him as Bruce reconnecting with her, because she only knows Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
To where he ends, he's talking to Alfred. He's like, I think I love her, and he's like, I want to let her into my life completely. And he has this like inner like battle of like, do I take this full step to let her know me fully, because that's just going to completely open her up to everything. And then he's like takes her home one day. They go out to eat, and he comes back and he's like, by the way, pulls a lever and goes down. I was like, this is who I really am. Like, Bruce, but this is who I am. Like this, if you're going to be with Bruce, you have to be with Batman
because
too.
Bruce is the mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just one of like, whenever I think of Batman Love, it's just where Batman finally becomes vulnerable.
Yeah.
Which is very that's very un-Batman-y of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that was like the closest Batman ever. I mean, then other stuff happens after that.
Well, do you guys remember Chase Meridian?
Yeah.
That was like
Batman Forever,
Yes.
Nicole Kidman.
Sorry, I just remembered her name and I'm like, Chase Meridian. But like his whole thing where she had a crush on both Batman and Bruce Wayne. She was like hitting on both of them. And then when she finally chose that she
separately, she's like, I like two guys.
I like two guys.
Actually.
And then she like chooses to be with Bruce instead of Batman. Well, she like talks to Batman. Of course, it's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
It's really confusing.
Sorry to let you know this, but I'm in love with another guy.
Yeah.
All right, well,
It's a great
Oh,
moment.
dang
it's
it.
okay.
This is a great
I
moment.
do,
too.
I do love that moment after they had that conversation and Batman walks away
And he
smiles.
He's
It's
like,
the best.
yeah.
It's the best gift of all time.
And maybe there's something about love that's really extraordinary because and I'm gonna paint the picture kind of going beyond romantic love. It's for love that Christ kind of came down. I mean, not kind of, absolutely. It's love is literally God so loved the world that he sent his only son. There's sort of like this descendance from a higher level into I'm willing to go lower, or I'm willing to lay down that which is precious to me for the sake of love. And I think that's what makes an interesting story like that, because you've got Batman being Batman, laying down being Batman for love. And as you kind of unpack all these different stories, Superman becomes more Clark Kent because of love. And one of a great example of that, Doctor Who. who is just this extraordinary. I mean, just whatever storyline it is, it doesn't matter what it is, because Doctor Who is better than everybody around him all the time.
Yes.
He's smarter than everyone around him.
Fantastic.
He can the Ninth Doctor. Doctor Who can just whatever it is. He's the Doctor. And everybody that's with him, any companion everybody that's with him is automatically just swept up into this wonder of the Doctor.
Except for Donna.
And but a great moment. And I don't know if any of you guys are watching this, but sorry about this. But the moment when he has to leave. Amy, the moment he has to leave Rose Tyler.
Yeah.
The moment when he has to leave Rose Tyler.
Oh my god!
The killer.
And he's about to say,
"I love you,"
and he does it. He can't, because the moment ends.
Yeah,
Yes,
because they're in separate dimensions.
Yeah,
and
she's like, "I love you,"
and he's running out of time, and he goes to
Rose
say
Tyler.
it, and then
she
fades away.
Aw.
And the moment,
that's so
The
heartbreaking.
connection cut off.
but the moment is so powerful because he is around all of the like he is such a huge epic Time Lord, and everyone that's around him immediately is not on his level.
Like I think
And there's a great moment where when he reacts and relates to her, that it's like he has lowered himself. He has kind of come down from this Time Lord status to give himself in an emotional way to someone that is, that's what love kind of does. Love lets us shed our pomp and our power and our notoriety.
I think another one of the moment, like the ways that like makes even that moment so much more deeper is, I think there's a line where he's talking to somebody. He's like, when you're 900 years old, you're there for the rest of their life, but they're not there for the rest of yours. It's just like,
Are you sure that wasn't Yoda?
no.
Look this good, you will not.
But it's just I never this thing about that moment. It's like, like at that moment he didn't care. He's like, he knew, like he just knew her. Like, I love you. Like, but sorry, I just always think of that.
Yeah, very good. Very good. What else we got?
Wesley and Buttercup.
I'm glad somebody said it.
Now, Wesley and Buttercup are so syrupy, saccharine, over the top. Like they're just, their love is so flawless, and I think that's the kind of the joke of it. Like that's sort of the tongue-in-cheek appeal.
Let's roll down the hill together.
Yeah. As you wish.
Wesley.
But I think that's sort of there's nothing realistic about their love.
No, I think the fantasticalness of it is what really.
Well, we love it.
Yes.
we see it and we go, this is amazing, but not because there's the sacrifice is so everything's just so over the top and so like just dramatized and cartoonized. Caricature of the sort of storybook romance, but that's what we love about it. Nobody lives that life,
No.
That isn't unattainable. Biblically, and I'm not talking the concept of love. I'm talking about the story of love. What are there any love stories in the Bible that capture your mind and you go, that's nice?
Isaac and Rebecca.
What about them?
Is it, unless I'm mistaken, I'm getting confused because I get that stuff confused all the time. But he wanted to marry Rebecca, so he waited 7 years. No? Who was that then? Who was that?
That was his son.
His son.
Jacob
And Rachel. Sorry. I said was going to get confused. Jacob and Rachel. He wanted to marry Rachel, waited 7 years, and Rachel's dad's like, nope, you're going to marry my other daughter.
Old Laban.
You're going to marry
was
the
a
ugly
trickster.
Hello there, how are you?
And then he waits.
Dude, it's wedding night.
He lifts
up her veil, and he's like, dang it.
You
That's
got me
wild.
again.
Too
Oh,
late,
yeah.
you done signed the papers. I'm yours, husband.
Demon get.
and then he still loves Rachel, so he waits 7 more years. So he waited 14 years to be with the one that he loved.
That's it. That's one of the ones that comes to my mind. That's a great story.
Me too.
A lot of times I think, man, if I would have known that. If I would have known how awesome, because man, my wife, y'all don't even understand. If you need to know, there's just not a person I think that could possibly love their wife more than I love my wife. She's the greatest, just she's the best person I know. And a lot of times I think of my story and the choices that I've made in my life, that if I would have known that she was out there and I would have known that she was attainable, I would have just waited and not made some of the choices that I made. I would have that would have been worth that would have been worth the wait, and I would have probably not taken a left or a right turn here or there, knowing that was down the road for me, man. And obviously we can't click our heels and make new choices, but dude, when you think about like Jacob and you go, yeah, when somebody finds something that's that worth it, you will fight for it, and you will wait for it, and you will be patient for it. I mean, love is patient, right? Give me another one. Y'all ain't been reading your Bibles.
Well, no, I have a bunch in mind, but none of them are like, I'm thinking like Abraham and Sarah, but he pretended she was his sister for a little bit. Can't use David. Can't use Solomon. Like, I'm trying to think of other.
Because I always think of
David and
Zechariah.
Abigail.
And
I mean, I'm just saying, like, Abigail was a good wife to David.
How about
She's a lot better than Michael was, or Michal.
Michal, yeah.
How about what's was it? I can't remember her name. It was the lady who had to come and apologize for her husband being an idiot.
That was Abigail.
That was Abigail?
Yes.
Oh, okay, never
Well,
mind.
David's whole army was going to kill her husband.
Yeah.
She was like,
I'm sorry.
She was a good diplomat.
Yeah.
I love this man, but he's stupid, Lord.
Please, Hammer, don't hurt him. So unpack this story then for us.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm lacking caffeine.
Wow.
Yeah. So David is on the run from Solomon because Solomon's going to kill David. But
Saul.
Oh, yeah, Saul.
Solomon was his son.
Solomon was David's son, yes. See? Caffeine. And so David and his army are traveling, and they want food and lodging. And Abigail's husband says no, and is incredibly rude to him. So David's whole army is going like, well, we're going to kill this guy, and we're going to take his stuff. And Abigail hears about it, because her servants tell her, and she's like, oh, I got to go deal with this. So she's a good wife, both to her original husband, and she ends up marrying David afterwards. And she's a good wife to him, too.
Very good. How is that?
David has a track record, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
of being the second husband.
David, don't mind, whatever. So what is it about that exemplifies love? Is it that she's willing to look out for her man, or
Yeah, because she knew that he
Ride or die.
wasn't nice. She knew that he wasn't
Lord, my
exactly
husband is a fool.
Yeah, I mean, she covered for him,
I
and
guess
he later died of natural or unnatural causes. But
yeah, David has been known to kill a brother or two.
I don't think he killed
yeah,
him though. No.
But
Well,
It just happened that he died.
But I guess you said the word covered, and love covers. Love covers. We clothe, we don't expose. And to contrast, and it's not a love story, but you think of Noah when he was drunk in his tent, and you got Ham coming in there going, "Dad is naked.
Get out of here, Ham.
And
Stop it.
I was on a boat traveling all over the world.
singing his sea shanties.
All of a sudden, you're sucking
What
down
do
Darjeeling.
you do with the drunken sailor? And
My name is Mrs. Nesbitt.
so you have Shem and Japheth come in, and they come in backwards and cover him up. To me, again, not a romantic love, but a love of respect and a love of care. That love clothes, love doesn't expose. Love, and listen, love is patient, love is kind. And we know from 1 Corinthians 13, but it doesn't rejoice in iniquity. It doesn't rejoice in wrongdoing. It loves that which is good. And sometimes I think like you gotta have somebody's got to have your back.
Yeah.
There's got to be somebody that like they don't enjoy making you look small. They don't enjoy calling out your shortcomings, but they love you in spite of your shortcomings. And just like the Lord, who loves us exactly as we are, obviously they don't intend to keep us that way, because love makes us better. Love helps us and improves us. But man, love is a great thing that God gave us.
Yeah.
And it's something that what the world needs now is love. Sweet love. Yeah. It really does, and in our society, I think love has just become kind of a flavor of the month or an optional thing. But love is out there, and now I'm sitting around a table with a bunch of young men and lady who are at the moment single, at the moment not married, betrothed, what have you. What? I mean, I don't know if it's my job to give you guys advice or anything like that.
Do it.
But like, no, but like, what is it that when you're looking for love, or as Buckwheat would say, "Wookin' Panub,"
And all the one bases.
when you're
Oh, your SNL reference makes me really happy.
thank you. As you look for love, as you look for romance, and I assume that even if it's not a top priority, it's still something that's at least a ping on all of our radars. Maybe not. Nick may be a Vulcan. I don't know.
What?
Didn't mean to wake you, princess.
It's not logical.
But what is it that you're looking for? What is it in love that you say, this is my hope, this is my goal, this is my dream, this is the way I picture it in my Somewhere That's Green musical number?
I think for me, maybe this word has like a negative connotation attached to it, but perseverance. And not to be like, oh, like I'm this bad person, like you got to persevere through me. But it's like, for me, not to get super deep, but my parents divorced when I was a senior in high school. My thing is, for me, it's the long haul. For me, it's making sure that the person I'm with, the woman that I'm with, is for forever. I know that sounds super cliche, but my parents
You
were
my forever baby.
you my forever, you my ride or die. So for me,
Right or die.
perseverance and communication for me is one of those big things. Like, is are we gonna ride this out, through thick and thin, as cliche or whatever as it sounds.
Sure.
Are we gonna ride this out for life?
That's one of the things my wife always says to me. She's like, if there's a problem, you better lock in, son, because you're stuck. She said, because I ain't going nowhere.
Hey.
She said, you better, if you don't like it, you better learn to like it, because you ain't getting rid of it. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what's up.
We're I mean, dude, like we're in it, man.
Yeah.
We're in it. That's a good thing to have, dude, because you don't want somebody that's always got their eye on the door.
Yeah, no, for sure.
You don't want somebody that's always looking out for like a way out. And you can tell. I mean, you can tell if you're in a relationship and somebody's like, they're done, they're checked out already. Man, the writing's on the wall. Like, you can see just little things that are said. That's a tough place to be.
Yeah.
What do you think, Steve-O? What's something that you're looking for, man? What's something that's like this is the thing for me?
Besides the obvious one, like I want my future wife to love Jesus obviously more than me, and I want to grow together in the Lord as we grow together in each other. And I used to always think like I want my wife to love the same exact things that I do. Like I want my wife to love Back to the Future. I want her to love Batman. I want to do this. But the older I get, I always think like, and vice versa, me to her. Like I don't necessarily want to be as big of a fan of the stuff that she likes or the stuff that I like as they are as each other. But I want to love something because they love it. Like I want to, like, I like this because I like her. You know what I mean? Like my wife doesn't need to love Back to the Future, but if she'll watch it with me because I love it, it's little things like that that I just kind of, like, I just want to enjoy life.
Yeah, at least not make me go in the other room when I want to watch it.
Yeah.
And that's super important. When I was, oh my goodness, just to give you an idea, when I was a young man, I had
How young were you?
Younger than all of you.
Nick?
When I was a young man, I had I created a test. It was a 50-question test.
What?
You're squinting at me with the evil eye. Yes, you're very much right to do so. It was like a 50-question test of things.
Do you remember the test in full?
I remember some of the questions. I don't remember the test in full. But it was never about another person. It was all about me. Mm-hmm. It was about the things that I liked and the things that I valued, and it was seeing how compatible someone was with me, as opposed to me seeing how compatible I could be with somebody else. Wow. It was all very self-centered.
Did you give this test out?
I did a couple times. Just putting some feelers out there. Hey, you want to take a cool test? Can you name all 10 captains of the Starship Enterprise? It was like, I was like, and by 10 captains, I was throwing in the time that Edward Jellicoe was captain of the Enterprise for one episode when Picard got abducted by the Borg. The Cardassians. They're like, so amazing. It's the Kardashians. It's a different thing. But so like, I mean, I was like, it was really bad. It was super bad because I wanted to make it all about the thing that I liked. Now, I remember the first time that I ever spent any like outside of church property time with my would-be wife at that time. We went to Rock the Universe, which is a big Christian music concert festival at Universal Studios. And I had invited some people. We had the youth group going. We invited a couple other people from the church, and one of them that was going was my eventual wife, Sheena. And she was just kind of hanging out, whatever, no big deal. And I remember there was two things that happened that night that I had one at the little carnival sideshow game back in Amity Island by the
When it was
deal,
still there.
when it was still Jaws. I had won a giant Sonic the Hedgehog stuffed animal. I mean,
wow.
That's
the
so
size of a 6-year-old child. It was a big.
Was it Sonic or was it Tails?
It was Sonic. My story.
I remember your sister
I
holding Tails.
won. No, you're wrong. Let me finish
I might
my
be
story, Steven. So I won this Sonic the Hedgehog, and then I went back and I played the game again, and I won Knuckles.
Knuckles.
Yeah, it was
That's what
Knuckles. So
Sorry.
with your permission, I'll
I
finish.
confused- I
So
apologize.
because these were gigantic stuffed animals, it was awkward for me to hold it. So she was there, and I said, "Will you hold my Knuckles?" Which probably means something terrible if you look it up on Urban Dictionary. But so she don't. So we walked around the park, and she was holding my other giant stuffed animal, and I thought, that's kind of cool, whatever, not nothing to it. So as the night progressed, we went into, they have this leader lounge that they have set up, Student Leadership University, Dr. J. Strack and other groups, they put together these leader lounges, or I think that one was done by some Christian college,
Lifeway.
Liberty University or some such, I don't even know. So we're in there basically scoring free cookies and bottles of Coke because it's free stuff for youth leaders. And I sit down at my table, and she sits across the table, and she pulls out a DS, and I'm like, hello. What's up, girl? How you doing? You playing a little gamey poo there? All right. And I pulled out my DS. And I'm like, how you doing? I don't know, like little moments like that. And I was like, but it wasn't me going, you have to do the things that I like. It was just these moments of like the things that she liked and the things that I liked accidentally, bumped into each other. And it was like, ooh, there's some overlap there. I celebrate those moments, but I don't force my wife ain't never gonna watch wrestling with me. Never.
She hates wrestling.
She ain't never
Makes
gonna watch
fun of us for
Mystery
watching
Science
it.
Theater 3000 with me. It'll never happen. But for the moments when she says it's my birthday, I want to go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I go, oh yeah, like that. Those moments are the ones that we celebrate. I'm not going to the Southern Woman Home Show with her. She just ran a 5K. I ain't running a 5K with her. No, not at all. But those the moments that we do share, I value the things that she values. She values the thing that I value. But most importantly, we value each other. What are you looking for, Neff? What's your relationship goals?
I like to think that my wife she'll have that same brand of sarcastic humor that I'll have, and we'll just riff off each other for hours. Just constant back and forth, just sitting on a couch, just enjoying the day. Like, I don't know, like that's my view. Like my view of like the future is just like the sun's pouring in, just sitting on a couch, just enjoying each other's company, just talking and making each other laugh.
It sounds like an episode of Roseanne.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, am I John Goodman?
Which they're bringing it back, by the way.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
swear,
heard.
my wife is like
I heard.
Roseanne.
I'm excited.
But
Try again.
The sarcastic. No, but aside from that, I mean, if you ever watched the way that they interact with each other,
Roseanne and Dan really love each other.
Roseanne and Dan,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
their interaction is always super sarcastic, but it's great banter, and you can see the playfulness and it's like super negative with each other, but it's so playful. I didn't appreciate that when I was younger watching the show, but after being married and watching it, I'm like, wow, there's a really cool dynamic here. What if you somebody falls in love with you, you fall in love with somebody and they're super quiet, and they just want to hear you talk because you're more entertaining than they are.
Because you're funny. You're real funny.
I don't know. I've never thought of that possibility before. I've always thought that the woman I would end up being with would be not talkative, but like would be good conversation.
She's gotta be good at chatting, Gotta look good at conventions. Gotta play piano and sing alto. All the good things like that.
Of course, she has to sing alto. I'm the soprano.
There's it's okay I think to have like ideas and goals, but I sometimes you don't know the person until you see them and they defy your expectations.
Yeah.
I remember when I was praying for my wife before I had a wife, when I was praying and said, God, these are the things that are important to me. These are the things that I value. And I remember when I met my wife and things started kind of clicking, and she wasn't, we were yet to be involved with each other, much less engaged or married. There were certain things in my imaginary criteria that I thought, well, maybe she doesn't really match up with that thing exactly like I was kind of praying for and hoping for. But then as time went by, I realized that those things that I had been praying for, as I allowed God to kind of change my heart and my perspective on things, I realized those things that I valued, what I actually wanted was this.
Yeah.
I thought I wanted that, but what I really wanted was this. And it became like, as time went on, as we got to know each other better, man, my heart was like, oh my goodness, God, look what you've done. Like, you have exceeded my expectations. I thought that, and you knew that I needed, and boom, there it is. That's amazing. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people maybe don't think about, is the idea of really trusting God with your mate to find your mate. You're looking beforehand, praying, God, I don't know who they are, but you know who they are, and chances are they're out there somewhere looking for me. And Lord, help us get together.
I've read books on that.
On
Well, I read a book called "When God Writes Your Love Story." It's by a couple Christians who they talked about their relationships in high school and middle school and all that stuff leading up to their eventual marriage, their relationship. And how like they really had to focus on themselves first, and then realize that God was kind of like working on both of them, and that's why they weren't together yet. So like, once they reached that point where they were responsible enough to do that, that's when God brought them together.
That's cool. That's really, really cool.
There's a book called 31 Prayers for Your Future Wife and Husband. There's like each side of the coin. And in the For My Future Wife one, the guy, his name's Aaron Smith, is talking about how like he would constantly pray for his future wife before he even met who would be his wife, and he would like write down his prayers. And when he proposed to his wife, he gave her all of his written down prayers and said,
that's really cool.
And like they were doing like a Bible study, he gave this to her, and he's like, this is what I've been praying for X amount of years, and you're the answer to these prayers.
Wow.
And then proposed to her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's next level, man.
Yeah.
I need to go back.
I know, right?
Gotta go back to the island.
Divine affirmation.
That's good.
That's cool.
That's good. Nick, you came to Orlando from Perry, Florida.
Yes.
Your pastor told me specifically, he gave me one thing. He said, don't get him married off. He said, he's just on loan to you. When your time comes, what are you looking for, man? And remember, she might be listening right now.
I'm not even sure yet. I still haven't figured that out.
Still haven't found what you're looking for.
Yeah. Like, I'd like to share some commonalities, but, for them to not be completely different than me. But, like we've been talking about, I'd like to share stuff that she likes and, vice versa. So
someone that can grow, that you can help grow, and someone that can help grow you.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you see that dynamic in your parents' relationship? I mean, are your mom and dad like into the same exact things, or?
They're very different, but yet they.
I've met your parents, and they seem like almost complete opposites. Not like in a bad way, but like your dad seems very quiet and reserved, and your mom's like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah, they can be very different, but at the same time, they do share some things. So.
That's cool.
That is cool.
And isn't it funny how our parents' relationships can so define the way that we look and get into relationships, for good or for bad.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. And I don't know if everybody here, maybe Nick is the one, but grew up kind of saturated already with the church culture and with Christianity. That's not my story. I know several of you guys, that's not your story either. Thank goodness that even for all the sort of mismatches and the bad information that's been poured into our lives, the bad examples that maybe we've seen, that when Christ comes into the picture, there's a resculpting and a redefinition of what love really can be.
Yeah.
Not only for us to give, but for us to receive as well. Because the greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. Final thoughts? Then I'd like to close out with this. It's super obligatory, and that's okay, because so much of love is captured right here. 1 Corinthians 13, if I speak in the tongues of men or of angels, but I do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but I do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It's not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. We know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put away the ways of childhood. I put them behind me. We now only see a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see in face to face. And now I know in part, and then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. So our prayer for you is that if you know love, that God would stir up your faith by way of remembrance, that you can look at it with fresh eyes, that you could feel it with a fresh heart, that your passion and your compassion can be reinvigorated for the person that you are connected to. If you have not yet known the joy of love, if you've not yet known what it is to be connected with another person, to be committed to another person, then I pray that God would give unto you a sense of anticipation and a holy perspective, that you wouldn't wake love before its time, that you would go into it worshipfully, reverently, respectfully, and that when the time comes, that you would love as Christ loves the church, that you would love with all your heart. And it's one of the great gifts that God has given to us. Is everybody feeling good?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love you guys.
Love you too, bro.
Oh.
I love you, Tony.
I know.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, Daddy. Well, it's we've reached the end of our run tonight. First episode of season 3 is in the books. I want to give a quick shout out to our patrons, our official supporters of the Nerd of Godcast. At our big time producer level, I want to acknowledge Zach, Becca, and Jay Mart, our 3 big time producer level patrons. Thank you guys so much for your ongoing faithfulness. I was just actually talking to one of our producer level patrons before the show, and he's like, you should mention me, and that I'm doing all these things. He's helping take care of us on Friday when we get to this live event. He's one of the guys that's there, and he's like, yeah, you should mention that I'm doing all this stuff to take care of you guys. So Zach,
You messaged me during this episode.
I hope you're happy. Thank you for your support. And real quick shout out to a couple of our original old school patrons, the lovely Becky and of course L7. Every single one of our patrons really, really matters. They really make a difference. They help us not only cover the cost of the show, but also to reach our goals. If you check out our Patreon page, you can see some of the things that we want to do. We're so thankful that we reached several of our goals for production purposes, But now our next step is to take this thing beyond just this podcast into video production, into live events. We want to produce some ministry materials so that we can equip pastors and ministry leaders to reach out to young people, especially in their communities, that are part of the nerd and geek culture, because the church hasn't necessarily learned how to speak that language yet. So we kind of see ourselves as ambassadors of ministry to that culture, and in doing so, we want to equip the local ministry with resources, with sermon ideas, with ways to minister, and creative kind of out-of-the-box ideas. In addition to that, one of our big goals for this next year is to reach out and become part of the convention scene, at least locally here in Florida. We've got several big conventions. EJ, you're a part of that as in your art ministry.
Yeah.
But we'd like to do that from a Nerd of Godcast perspective, and you know, like we said, we want to be where the people are. So that brings us to the end of our show. Again, thank you so much to our patrons. If you do want to be a part of it, check out patreon.com. Search for Nerd of Godcast, and you can be a part of making the ministry happen. Just subscribe, become a sponsor, and make even the smallest donation counts. If you can't afford to make a donation, or you're not down with doing that at this time, please continue to pray for the ministry of the Nerd of Godcast. It is free, and it is absolutely priceless. So connect with us online, like, share, subscribe, follow us on all of our social media. Don't forget that we are extending our online contest, so leave us a review on iTunes and you could win a sweet prize pack from our Nerd of Godcast, Nerd of God stash, including a t-shirt. And if you are in Palmetto, we're going to see you at Night of the Guardians this weekend.
Or we'll have seen you.
And we will have seen you depending on where you are. So I guess that brings us to the end. Season 3, Episode 1 is underway. Don't forget to vote on our best thing ever for the Nerd of Godcast. Steve-O.
Kwaharini, everybody.
Neff.
Goodbye.
EJ.
Peace.
Jessica.
See ya.
And Nick.
Bye.
My name is Tony T. Until next time, we ain't got to go home, but
We
can
can stay here.
Good.
That's mine.
I forgot.
That's perfect.
Good night, everybody. When we were at Reading Terminal, Neff bought a wheel of cheese.
I did
Wheel of queso.
Neff bought a wheel of cheese, and there's a story behind it. I don't know that we need to tell the whole story.
I want to hear the story.
But as he wanted to share the cheese with a friend, and I as he was buying it, I asked him. I said, "Neff, what you gonna do with that cheese, son?"
I don't have a fridge in my.
He don't have a fridge in his hotel room,
and it won't get past TSA.
So
No.
I
Did
said,
you just eat all the cheese?
He said, "Will you take my cheese and put it in your hotel room?" So I brought it. I've been custodian to Neff's wheel of cheese
For
And
over
then-
a week.
for a week. I had to put it in a cooler and drive that thing back down.
What?
That cheese has been through 9 states.
Man, that's some good cheese, man.
That is magic cheese.
That's.
Are you-
It's been a while.
I'm gonna tell you,
It's
that's
been a while.
that is some suspect cheese. I don't know if I put that in my mouth hole, man. I don't know.
What kind of cheese was it?
Yeah.
French cheese?
Oh,
Camembert cheese.
Camembert.
Camembert.
So apparently, it's loved by ladybug-themed superheroes, and
Sure.
I don't understand.
I don't want to go farther into it.
Okay.